Have you ever noticed that sometimes a simple glass of water feels like a comfort, a gentle relief, running down and reviving you, even when you didn't realize you needed it? With all the advice coming our way as we get older, it's easy for some messages to sound like background noise. Yet few are as quietly important day in and day out as the gentle reminder to stay hydrated. You see, water does more than quench a thirst. It keeps our joints cushioned, our minds more alert, and our bodies running smoother. It's simple, easy, and most days all it takes is a pause and a sip. Today, I'd like to spend a little time talking with you about the importance of hydration, especially for those of us with silvery hair and well-lived faces. I'm Albert, and this is Golden Age Wisdom. Here, we talk thoughtfully, sharing small habits and gentle encouragement, helping each other live our best years with joy and ease. Thank you for joining me. Let me tell you what you'll hear today. We'll walk through the reasons hydration matters so much for us in our golden years, some signs to watch for if you're not getting enough, and plain, practical ideas for weaving more water into your days. Along the way, I'll share a story or two, maybe about my friend Harold and his coffee habit, or Ruth, who always kept a pitcher on her kitchen table. My hope? By the end of our chat, you'll feel more confident about caring for yourself, one glass at a time. First, let's get to the heart of it. Why is water so special? It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? We hear, drink 8 cups a day, but we seldom pause to ask why. Imagine the inside of your body as a gentle, flowing stream. Every organ, every cell depends on that stream. When we're well hydrated, things move easily. When we're short on water, the stream becomes a trickle, and everything slows down or creaks a little. Water cushions our joints, especially those knees and hips that have walked thousands of miles with us over the years. Think of it like oiling an old door hinge. A little moisture keeps things moving smooth and silent. It helps our digestion too, softening the journey for every morsel we eat, from Ruth's famous apple pie to Bill's homemade pot roast. Your stomach and bowels need water to keep things moving. Without enough, you might feel sluggish or a little bogged down. Of course, water is part of clear thinking as well. A well-hydrated brain remembers phone numbers, finds car keys, and stays in a gentler mood, even on those rainy Tuesdays when time feels heavy. Here's something else to keep in mind. As we age, our sense of thirst doesn't speak as loudly as it once did. It's easy to miss the signals, easy to think, I'll have some later. But later often turns into never, and small gaps in hydration build up day after day. Before we move ahead, I want to gently ask, what's your own habit with water? Do you keep a glass nearby, or reach for it only now and then? If you'd like, please share your routine or little tricks in the comments beneath. You never know, your idea might encourage someone else tuning in today. Let's look at some common signs when our bodies might need more water. There isn't always a big blinking warning. Sometimes it's as quiet as feeling a bit dizzy or more tired than usual. Dry mouth, dry skin, headaches, these are the whispers, not shouts. I remember my friend Dorothy telling me, for months I just thought I was getting older, tired all the time. But she started sipping water throughout the day, slow and steady, not gulping, and her energy gradually returned like spring snow melting away. Sometimes the simplest things make the most difference. A little lightheadedness when you stand too quickly. That can be a sign your inner stream is running low. So can aches and cramps, especially if your legs or hands feel stiff after gardening or a walk. Listen for these quiet complaints, as I like to call them. They are gentle nudges from your body. By now you might be wondering, how much is enough? There isn't one perfect answer since we're all different, like snowflakes from the same cloud, but most experts suggest aiming for 6 to 8 cups daily. If that feels like a mountain, start lower and work your way up. It's not a race. Every sip counts. I want to share a little story about my neighbor, Bill. One summer, Bill was helping his grandkids plant sunflowers in the garden. After an hour in the sun, he started feeling dizzy and uneasy, just writing it off as the heat. His granddaughter noticed he looked a bit flushed and insisted he sit down and have a tall glass of water. "Well," Bill grumbled, "young folks don't know how sturdy we are." But the water revived him, and he ended up laughing over lemonade with his family by noon. Now, Bill keeps a large glass on his porch, reminding him to sip in the shade. Sometimes we need a nudge from loved ones or from ourselves. You see, hydration isn't just about quenching thirst, it's about self-care in its simplest form. Let me offer a few ideas to help make drinking water part of your day, even when it feels like an afterthought. One helpful trick is setting gentle reminders. Some folks like to place a note on the fridge or by the television remote. Harold, for instance, told me he sets his watch to beep softly at lunchtime and mid-afternoon, just as a friendly tap on the shoulder. Another idea, make water appealing. Try keeping cold water in a pretty glass pitcher, maybe with a slice of lemon or a sprig of mint. Ruth used to say, "If it looks special, I want to drink it more." And she was right. Serving water in a glass you love turns a chore into a pleasure. If you enjoy warm drinks, don't forget that herbal teas count too, especially those without added sugar or caffeine. A cup of gentle chamomile or mint, sipped slowly, is just as nourishing as a glass of water and can help you wind down for the evening. You might try pairing your sips with daily habits. Every time you feed the dog, fill your glass. When you take your evening pills, have a drink alongside. Over time, it becomes as natural as putting one foot in front of the other. And don't underestimate the power of small steps. If a full glass feels daunting, start with half. If you forget once, try again at the next meal. Be gentle with yourself. Progress, not perfection. I'd like to gently encourage all of you. If you have a favorite mug, cup, or tumbler, why not use it just for water? My friend Dorothy calls hers the blue lifeboat and swears the color makes her smile every time she sees it. Of course, it's not just about drinking water. Many foods contain water too. Soups, stews, fresh fruits like oranges or melons, they all add to the total. On sunny days, when a bowl of fruit is cool and inviting, that's a lovely way to care for yourself without even thinking about it. But one caution, my friends, tea and coffee can be warming and comforting, but too much caffeine may dehydrate you. Try to balance these with plain water or gentle herbal teas, especially if you notice your mouth feeling dry or your heart a little speedy. Let me remind you, it isn't about giving up your morning coffee or afternoon tea. It's about making sure you add enough water to your day, so these familiar comforts can still be enjoyed. Sometimes, when we're caught up in plans, doctor's appointments, visits from grandchildren, the ordinary business of living, the needs of our bodies can slip to the bottom of the list. Think of hydration as an act of kindness to yourself, tucked into small, everyday moments. Let's pause here for a moment. If any of these tips have made you think of your own little routines, maybe a special time of day you enjoy your first sip, or a fond memory of someone who always preached the gospel of a cold glass of water, please feel free to share in the comments below. It means so much to read your stories and find that gentle sense of community, even through a screen. If you're finding these gentle reminders helpful, I'd be grateful if you'd tap that little thumbs up, or consider subscribing for more heartfelt tips from one friend to another. It helps our small community of wisdom keep growing. Let's continue with a few more thoughtful reflections. You might ask, is it possible to drink too much water? It's unlikely for most of us, but the body is wonderfully designed to tell us when it's had enough. Our kidneys are good gatekeepers, letting out what we don't need. Unless you've been told by a doctor to limit your fluids for a particular reason, maybe because of heart or kidney concerns, a gentle goal of 6 to 8 cups spread out across the day is just right for most folks. Sometimes certain medicines can affect how thirsty you feel or how your body holds on to water. Water pills, for example, or some medicines for blood pressure or diabetes, they can change things a bit. That's why it helps to check in with your nurse or doctor if you have questions about how much you should drink. Otherwise, listen to your body and trust that it knows what's best. Now, I want to share a favorite metaphor with you, something I heard decades ago. Our bodies are like old garden wells, dug deep and steady. If you let the bucket sit empty too long, if you draw without refilling, the water turns sluggish and the stones grow dry. But with a little tending, a little care each day, the well stays full and sweet, and the garden thrives. You are that well. Your years are your garden. When you fill yourself up, you nourish all the things you love to do, be it a walk with a neighbor, knitting by the window, or reading stories to a wide-eyed grandchild. Let's turn for a moment to how water supports different parts of our lives, sometimes in quiet, surprising ways. For example, good hydration can help us sleep better. When the body is comfortable and balanced inside, it can rest more easily. Sometimes dehydration can cause leg cramps or restlessness in the night. If you find that's true for you, a small glass of water before bedtime, enough to keep things comfortable but not so much as to cause middle-of-the-night trips, might help. You'll know what works best for your own rhythm. Clear, moist eyes are another blessing of adequate water. Dryness can make reading, watching television, or simply sitting in the sun a bother. Keeping well hydrated is like giving the windows of your soul a gentle wash, so you can keep looking out on the world with joy. Even our skin, that wise old shield of ours, shows us when we're doing well. Well-hydrated skin feels softer and less itchy. Small cuts heal more easily. If your arms or hands have felt more papery or thin, sometimes adding a little more water to your day can make all the difference. If you or someone you know finds it hard to drink enough water because of swallowing troubles, gently chilled sips, ice chips, or incorporating water-rich foods can all help. Take things at your own pace and never force yourself to drink if it feels unpleasant. Another point, dear friends, living alone can make routines of self-care a little harder at times. If you find it helpful, consider inviting a friend or neighbor to join you in a gentle hydration challenge. Just sending a text to check, "Have you had your water this morning?" turns it into a shared laugh between friends instead of a solitary chore. I recall one winter when my friend Ruth and I promised to call each other every afternoon just for a quick hello. Our sign-off was always, "Sip your tea, not just gossip." It became a small bright spot between us on even the bleakest days. If mobility is a concern, or if arthritis in the hands or wrists makes traditional cups hard to hold, there are plenty of lightweight pitchers and cups with sturdy handles made just for folks like us. Don't be shy about making these little adaptations. A little convenience can transform a daily nuisance into a near-forgotten habit. Now, let's talk a bit about how the seasons can change our needs. In hot months, we lose more water through sweat, even if we don't feel sticky to the touch. It can happen quickly, especially if you're gardening, walking a pet, or taking part in lawn games with younger family members. One summer, my neighbor Bill, always keen on mowing his own lawn, confessed that he'd felt a wave of tiredness come over him in the middle of a hot afternoon. "Hadn't thought to bring out a drink," he admitted, a little sheepishly. After that day, he kept a thermos of cool water in his pocket, refilling before even starting the mower. He learned that hydration is just as important as a good sun hat or sturdy shoes. In cold months, we might not feel as thirsty, but our bodies still crave the same gentle care. Heated indoor air can dry us out, and bundled clothing can mean less notice of a parched mouth or dull headache. Soups, broths, or warm lemon water are soothing companions for chilly hands and hearts. Always remember, thirst doesn't smell like smoke or sound a loud alarm. It sneaks up quietly. If you carry water with you, you're much less likely to forget. And if you're someone who resists drinking too much because of the need for bathroom trips, well, that's a real concern, especially if you're nervous about nighttime walks or mobility issues. I'd suggest keeping a soft nightlight in the hallway or bathroom and maybe drinking more earlier in the day, tapering off closer to bedtime. Everyone's routine is a little different. Find what feels most comfortable for you. If you struggle to remember, use what I call habit hooks. Tie your sips to things you already do. When you take morning medicine, have a drink. When you sit down to watch the news, bring a glass to your chair. Over time, the new habit begins to stick. It's never too late. Even small improvements add up, like rain filling a barrel, drop by drop. Before we continue, let me gently remind you, if you're finding value in our time together, a simple click to subscribe or leave a thoughtful note goes a long way. It's like lighting another lantern along our shared path. And if this conversation sparks a memory, or you have your own tip for staying hydrated, please jot it down below. Your story just might encourage another soul who needs it. Now, one last important word for those who care for parents, grandparents, or spouses. If you notice a loved one becoming confused, listless, or suddenly more tired than usual, sometimes it's the softest warning that they need a little more water. Offer a sip. Sit together and share a cup. Hydration can be a shared kindness and a gentle way to show you care, with no need for lectures or fuss. As I look back, I see how many of our happiest family gatherings happened around a table with pitchers of water, lemonade, or iced tea. The laughter, the stories, the gentle, "Pass the glass, please." Hydration isn't just about the body. It's about those moments of comfort and belonging that keep us going through the years. I suppose, in a way, caring for yourself, one glass at a time, is about keeping the doors open for more moments like that. Let's take this wisdom with us. Be gentle. Start small. Trust that every small act of self-care matters, even when no one else can see. A few simple final reminders, dear hearts. Keep water nearby. A glass within reach is a friend who asks nothing of you. Listen for your body's whispers, fatigue, aches, dry lips, or a cloudy mind. Make hydration pleasant. A favorite cup, a slice of fruit, a note from a friend. Tie your sips to daily routines so you don't need to rely on memory alone. Share your habit. Call a friend. Swap stories. Turn self-care into a connection. Adapt as needed. Try straws, handled mugs, warm broths, or cool slices of melon. Most of all, be patient with yourself. As with so much in these chapters of our lives, it's not about getting every little thing perfect. It's about moving gently, step by step, toward what feels kind and wise. Thank you for joining me for this quiet conversation on hydration. I hope you leave with a little more understanding and a little more kindness for yourself. If you have your own tips, habits, or a favorite memory, maybe a story from childhood when someone insisted on a glass of cool water after playing outdoors, please share it in the comments below. I read every one, and they mean more than you can imagine. If this video made you pause and think, share it with a friend or someone you care about. Press that little heart, or subscribe if you'd like to keep walking these gentle roads together. Remember, my friends, it's never too late to care for yourself with small, loving habits. Hydration is one of the simplest but most powerful gifts you can give to your body, mind, and spirit. A glass at a time, a day at a time, you are tending your well. May it always run deep and sweet. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, your stories, and your company with me today. This is Albert from Golden Age Wisdom, wishing you gentle days, cool sips, and the warmth of good company wherever you are. Until next time, be well, and don't forget to drink a little water for me, too.